Hi everyone, so in this video we are going to see about the Business Law Unit 2, wherein we are going to cover offer, acceptance, revocation and privity of contract. So moving on to the first concept, offer. So regarding offer means proposal. The one word meaning for the word offer is proposal. It is defined under section 2 of A of Indian Contract Act 1872. There are two parties to an offer. One is called the offerer and the other one is called the offeree. So a person who is making the proposal is called the offerer and the person to whom the proposal is made is called the offeree. So the next concept under offer, we are going to see the definition which is given under section 2 of A of Indian Contract Act 1872. So it tells it's like the willingness that is expressed by a person to either to do something or not to do something. It is called a proposal. We have an example wherein A, he makes an offer to B to buy the house. Here A is the offerer and B is the offeree. So in every offer there is a proposal made, and there are two parties to an offer. One is called the offerer and the other one is called the offeree. So moving on to the next topic, which is essentials of a valid offer. So a valid offer is considered valid and it is not considered valid when the following features are not there. So the following features are essentials of a valid offer. To make an offer valid, it has to have the following elements. The one is it must be communicated, it must create a legal relationship, it must be certain in nature, and it must be differentiated from that of invitation to offer. It must be either general or specific, and it must be made to get free consent. So an offer must be communicated in the sense that it must be either orally or in writing form. It has to be communicated to the offeree. So that is what is the first essential of a valid offer. The second one is that it should create a legal relationship. So anything, any promise or any offer made between father and son or mother and daughter, it's not a legal relationship. It must create a legal relationship between parties. Only then it is considered to be a valid offer. And the next point is an offer must be certain, meaning it must be completely informed and it should specify all the terms and conditions. And the fourth point, it must be distinguished from invitation to offer. It's wherein, so an offer is something which is advertised in the newspaper, while something which is displayed, any window display with price tag, it is just an invitation to offer. An invitation to offer has to be differentiated from that of an offer. And an offer could be either made to a general public or to a specific person. So anything is valid, and an offer must be with an intention to get a free consent from the parties, meaning there should be not any forceful or compulsion or fraudulent activity should be there to compel someone to accept it. So these are the essentials of a valid offer. So now moving on to the classification of offer, there are about 7 classifications of offer: general offer, specific offer, counter offer, cross offer, express, implied, and finally standing offer. So general offer is or such offer which is made to general public, but is made to people in general. Specific offer is generally made to individual person or a specific group of individuals alone. Counter offer is wherein when an offer is made to the offeree, an offeree makes it a converse offer with some modification. It's called as counter offer. Cross offer is wherein when the offerer and offeree make the same offer to one another without their own knowledge. Okay, there should be the same terms and conditions have to be specified by both the offerer and offeree, and they both make the same offer to each other without having the knowledge of each other doing the same. It is called as cross offer, and the cross offer is not a valid offer. The next one is express offer, which is either expressly made in oral, writing, or in both. Implied offer, it is like performed in action. It is like buying something from the provision stores or supermarket. Standing offer, it's like a tender. Standing offer is wherein you would make the promise today and you will keep up the promise in the later days. It is more like a future offer. Okay, so standing offer example is tender. The validity of this offer stands for future dates also. So this is called a standing offer. So these are the 7 types of offer. Moving on to the next concept, which is acceptance. So moving on to acceptance. Acceptance means, the one word meaning of acceptance is consent or assent. It is defined under section 2 of B, and generally when a proposal or when an offer is accepted, it becomes a promise, and a promise with consideration is acceptance. So essentials of a valid acceptance: an acceptance should be given only by the person to whom the offer is made. Any third party cannot give the acceptance on the behalf of the other party, and it must be clearly communicated, and it must be in absolute terms, and it should be without any condition. And an acceptance must be communicated either in oral or writing, and it must be communicated in the prescribed mode. If the offerer wants it in the mode of letter, it should be communicated only in the mode of letter. We shouldn't communicate in a different mode, then it does not become as a valid acceptance. And implied acceptance is also a valid acceptance, meaning anything performed by action. So moving on to the next concept, which is consideration. So consideration, the one word meaning of consideration is something in return or a benefit out of the contract. So it is defined under section 2 of D of Indian Contract Act 1872, and a consideration has its own essentials. So it must be adequate consideration. It must be real, it must be something possible, and it must be adequate in the eyes of law. And it must be lawful. It should not be opposed to any public policy. And a consideration could be either present, past, or future. So this is one of the validity of consideration, and this is also the types of consideration: present, past, or future. A present consideration is something that happens simultaneously between the parties. The future consideration is wherein the promise would be consideration would be performed in the future. The past consideration is wherein the consideration was given by one party before the date of promise. So a future consideration example is tender. The present consideration example is buying something in a supermarket, while a past consideration is wherein a promise is made only after the consideration was given by one party. The next concept that we are going to see is revocation. Okay, so revocation means it's cancellation. It's cancellation of a contract. So revocation could also be called as rejection. Revocation could also be called as termination of a contract. So revocation is defined under section 5 of the Indian Contract Act 1872. So in what scenarios a revocation of a contract or a revocation of an offer or revocation of an acceptance could be made? So these are the scenarios: when the time lapses, when the time period is the stipulated time period gets over, the offer gets lapses. Say for example, when you get an advertisement, you will get when you buy a biscuit, you will get a chocolate for free. So this thing lapses over a period of time. Okay, only for a given period of time, stipulated time, you will get this offer of getting a biscuit with a free chocolate is like valid. After a certain period of time, this offer gets lapses. So this is the right example for the first scenario. The second scenario, the offer or an acceptance or a contract gets cancelled when either of the party, when one of the party dies or when he becomes insane. Okay, so this is wherein the second scenario. Third scenario, an offer would get terminated when it is rejected by one party, who is the offerer, and the other party offering. If either of the party rejects okay, saying I don't want to continue this contract, then the offer gets terminated. The next wherein conditional offer is cancelled when the condition is not accepted. Okay, conditional offer cases wherein when you give some condition to the contract and if either of the party does not accept the condition, then it gets cancelled. An offer is cancelled when counter offer is made, and finally an offer gets terminated when it is not given in the prescribed mode. So prescribed mode is also an essentials of a valid acceptance. So when the acceptance is not made through a prescribed mode, then the offerer has the right to cancel the offer. So these are the situations wherein revocation or cancellation is made. And the next concept that we are going to see is privity of contract. Privity of contract talks about the rights of the parties to the contract and the rights of the third party to the contract. According to Indian Contract Act 1872, a privity of contract is all about the parties, the legal relationship of the parties to the contract. In case of any default of promise made by either of the party, then one of the party can sue the other party in the court of law. Okay, he can file a case against each of the party if the party does not fulfill his promise. But this privity of contract also tells that a third party cannot file a case against the parties to the contract when there is any default. So this is the rule, this is the doctrine of privity of contract. But this privity of contract, in order to understand it with a better example, say for example there are two parties, Peter and John. So Peter and John are the parties to the contract. So Peter, he has borrowed money from John and he has promised to repay the money also. This Peter has one more a friend called Arjun, wherein he sells his house to Arjun. So now Arjun says Peter that he would pay the money. He would make the payment to John. Okay, in case of Arjun fails to pay any money to John, John cannot actually file a case against Arjun, but John has to file a case against only with the Peter. So this is privity of contract. The parties to the contract is Peter and John. Okay, if there is any default, John can file a case only against Peter and John cannot file against a third party, Arjun. Though Arjun promises Peter to pay the money of John, in case of default, John cannot actually file a case against Arjun, so John can file a case against only against the Peter. So this is called as privity of contract. So moving on to the exceptions. So there are certain exceptions to privity of contract. They are beneficiary for trust, marriage settlements, agent of principal, family settlements and older in due course. These are the situations wherein there is an exception to privity of contract. So these scenarios, even the third party can file a case against the party to the contract. Say for example, in case of trust, there are two parties. One is the trustee and the beneficiary. So trustee, when he enters a contract with the another party, the beneficiary, who is the third party to the contract, can file a case against the party because he is the beneficiary of the trust. Okay, he is the one who gets the benefit from the trust, so hence he can file a case against the other party. Marriage settlements and family settlements, here we have a marriage settlements contract or a family settlement contract. The beneficiary of the contract can file a case against the parties to the contract even though they are the third party to the contract. Agents of principal. So agents and the principals, they enter into a relationship under contract of agency. So an agent can file a case against the third party on behalf of the principal. He is allowed to do that. Older in due course. Older is a person who accepts negotiable instruments for exchange of money or for exchange of any value. So this older in due course, he has the right to sue the originator of the negotiable instrument or intermediate holders of the negotiable instrument in case of any default. So these are the exceptions under privity of contract. So these are the cases wherein even a stranger to the contract, even the third party to the contract have the right to file a case or have the right to sue the parties to the contract. So in this session we just saw about offer, its meaning, definition, classification and types; acceptance, its meaning and essentials; consideration, its meaning, essentials and types; and we saw about the concept revocation and privity of contract and exceptions to the privity of contract. Hope you all had a better understanding on these concepts. Thank you.